to you, right?
Mm-mm.
Seems normal?
Yeah, seems good. Best I can
Okay.
tell. I don't think it sounds bad at all. It's turning me on, honestly, and I was going to tell you, but...
Oh, good. Well, I'm glad.
All right. I think we're ready. Here we go. It is starting in 3, 2, 1. Tonight on TMS PM, Rapper Kid.
Classic games.
NASA says bye.
VR for dead people.
Apple says no tattoos.
Time with Dan.
Ask your TMS questions and more on this episode of TMS PM.
This is the morning stream, but it's not in the morning, it's at night.
In the Utah?
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to TMS PM edition, brought to you by patreon.com/TMS. I've been listening to some of the early preview Andrew Allen trio music for the new Star Wars album to get inspiration today. It's very good, and it's kind of got me in the mood for this nice, quiet, swinging business right here.
Cool. Well, you knocked the artwork out of the park, man. I can't wait for people to see it tomorrow. Backers get to see it tomorrow.
Yep, you get to see an early version of it, and then we'll finalize it, and everyone else will see it, I guess, after that.
Exactly.
Very exciting days in our lives.
Yes.
Well, Brian, let's do another show.
Okay.
Why the hell not? We got Dan coming up later. We got your questions. We got some news. We got some other stuff. But before we get into all of that, I got something to bring up here.
Okay.
Took the dog for a walk today. Said, you know what, Rainer? Time for you to go out. And he went, it's about time. Actually, that's not Rainer. So I said, let's go. And she said, yipe. And we got the thing on the leash, and we went outside. And it was beautiful. It's a beautiful warm day with a wonderful breeze. Just absolutely insane weather today.
Sure.
So I'm walking her around, and I needed to get out and walk a little bit anyway. So it felt good. Good for both of us. She poops on the side. I don't. But, other than that, good for both of us. Mm-hmm. So we're walking out there, and we're getting to the park. And there's a guy in a wheelchair, like an automated wheelchair, or like a
rascal,
kind of, except it's like a full on who's the
like Stephen Hawking
style? Yes, because there's a screen there and there's all this stuff.
Wow.
So this kid on it looks like he's got some condition. I don't know what it is, but he kind of moves a lot. And so I don't know what that condition is, but there's a lot of movement, and it's clear that he doesn't have a ton of control, but this thing's moving right along, like chucking at a decent pace. He has a dog. That's what he's doing. He's walking a dog.
Okay.
But here's the difference. It's 70-something degrees out, and he's wearing a full jacket, and not just any jacket, but one like Ice Cube might wear in an NWA video or something.
So a big thick down.
Yes. But red and like sportsy looking, and almost like gangstery looking. It's hard to explain.
Gotcha.
But imagine like something Biggie Smalls would wear at a big concert in Vegas or something.
Well, he does have to represent.
Zeus rest his soul. So he's out there in this thing, and he's got big baggy long pants on and big giant Adidas sneakers, Run DMC style, with no laces in them.
Okay.
Now you'd think I might be painting a picture here. It gets weirder. He's got a baseball hat on sideways. It's an Oakland A's hat. He's wearing it literally like kind of sideways on his head. And I only see this at first. There's no other indication that we're looking at a real... And he's a white kid. I think that's important to mention.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not seeing any other indication that this is going to be full-blown rap moment. But suddenly, out of nowhere, with really good fidelity, and I'm like a block away from him, the rap music comes pouring out of his little scooter thing. And I'm not kidding, like super hardcore stuff too. Like,
really?
Yeah, we got the Patron with the gun and the thing and whatever. It was like a really like hardcore, heavy duty.
Could you be any whiter?
Like something you'd hear coming out of a car in Vegas, low to the ground with neon going boom, 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 like this kind of stuff.
Right.
And nothing would click, like everything about it just wasn't clicking with me. It's like, what am I looking at here? What is this? So what it comes down to, I guess, because I asked around and the neighbor person told me that this kid is, he's handicapped, mentally handicapped. He's got a bunch of issues and problems. he is absolutely obsessed with nothing in this life except for rap music. That's all he cares about. It's all he's interested in. And what I was seeing was this mobile manifestation of his love of rap. And I have no problem with it, but you should have seen him rolling down the street.
It does paint a weird, an unusual picture, an unexpected picture. How old would you say he is?
He's probably 17 to 20 in that range.
Okay.
Hard to say because he was.
He loves his rap. And,
and here's the best part though. As I'm leaving, going past, I thought, well, I'm going to wave at the young man. Let's see how friendly this rap man is, right? Mm-hmm. So I wave at a little white guy wave, and he turns to me and does what I thought at first was throwing me the bird. I thought he was flipping me off. But it was just his hands kind of distorted into themselves and doing kind of a wave. But I thought for a second he was tossing me the bird. And I was really kind of hoping because that'd make the story better. But
hey, cracker.
Anyway, it was interesting. You always, I don't know. I want him to love what he loves. And if he loves rap music, hey. Who am I to say you can't love your rap music?
Yeah, good for him.
Yeah, so there you go.
What an unusual picture.
It was very strange to see it, and slow moving, like just kind of you see me rolling like a gangster, was that kind of thing. And his dog's like a little teacup, little shit dog.
Okay,
which it's not. I wanted like a Rottweiler or a freaking Doberman or something like rap cool, but no, it's just like little teacup, little yapper dog. Anyway. There's your story. Hope you enjoyed it. Now let's do this.
Radio today is different. Powerful networks span the nation from coast to coast. Shortwave radio girdles the globe.
It's time for the evening news brought to you by
The Chronicles of Hataris, a sci-fi fantasy book project on inkshares.com. The Elthari have returned from millennia of exile, and they're coming to destroy us all. It's going to take a dragon, an angel, a high elf, and a lot of backup and no vaccine to tap into an ancient well of knowledge and power and drive them back. We need your support to drive back the long night. Join the adventure at tiny.cc/Hataris and facebook.com/Hataris Chronicles. That's Hataras.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Good.
You can now embed classic video games in your tweets.
What?
This is actually kind of cool. So the Internet Archive's done a pretty good job of preserving these classic DOS games. A while back, we talked about those. So they've covered everything from DOS games to titles for arcades, and now you don't even have to leave your Twitter to play some of them. The feature appears to work with MS-DOS games right now. The others are coming, which are also embedded in websites, so you can do it either way. But if you wanted to play, I don't know, let's say Oregon Trail, or some old DOS game, right there in Twitter, not even leave it, you can totally do it. Think about that.
That is crazy. So it is like it's old DOS, but not necessarily text-based. I mean, Oregon Trail was visuals.
Oh yeah, there's definitely graphics and stuff. The DOS version of Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego, for example. Let's see, where's another one here?
Oh, that's crazy. And they've got the article actually shows Street Fighter.
Yep. The PC version of Street Fighter, DOS version of Street Fighter. There it is. Let me click to begin. Let's see what we get here.
Super Zaxxon Time Tunnel.
Hopefully this won't crash. Getting a game file. Just so everyone knows, the size of Street Fighter 2 from Capcom in 1996 is 18 megabytes and climbing. 19 megabyte, 0.3. And it's not doing anything. Okay, here we go. You ready? Let's play a little Street Fighter. Here we go.
All right, I'm looking. I'm watching
sound.
your Twitter here.
The button only works once emulation is running. Okay, fine. Okay, we're in.
So you've got to emulate it first and then tweet it.
I guess so. I should have sound now, but I don't. Well, what's the point of this if I don't have sound, Capcom? Oh! Here we go. Listen to that sweet music.
It's awesome.
Here comes Ryu, and... Oh, you got me in the face. One more time. Oh, another one. I assume he's going to do that in a second. Here he goes. Okay, we got it. Lightning, got it. Okay, here we go. Oh, we didn't even say it.
Aw.
Lame. Anyway. So there's something to do.
Interesting. But that didn't tweet it.
Nope, it didn't.
Okay.
Apparently, it doesn't work as well as I was led to believe.
Well, that failed.
It's a cool idea, but it doesn't appear to be working properly. Someone in the chat says, "Oh, Scott's shirt reminds me of the new Nickelback song called She Keeps Me Up." Really? Because it says Coverville, not the real thing on it.
Yeah.
I don't get it. NASA has said farewell to Messenger.
And I wouldn't brag about that, Taxicab PM.
No, I wouldn't either. No, that's not the kind of thing you want on your
Right.
T-shirt. NASA has bid farewell to the Messenger. This is the Mercury orbiter, the thing that's been around Mercury forever.
Okay.
It tweeted before it crashed.
Did it tweet Street Fighter 2?
It did, and it didn't work. No, it says its last tweet before crashing into the surface of Mercury was this. I'll do it as a robot. You ready?
Okay, all right.
The humans are dead. Okay, hold on. I got to get in the mode here. Okay, here we go. Well, I guess it is time to say goodbye to all my friends, family, and support team. I will be making my final impact very soon. And that was it. I am not programmed to love.
Oh, they had so many opportunities to do something better, right? Like, tell my daughter, Liv Tyler, that I love her. Something,
Yeah.
They got an opportunity there for a tweet heard around the world by a...
It's a once-in-a-lifetime thing. You're never going to have another Mercury orbiter go into the Sea of Mercury or wherever the hell that is. What's on the surface of Mercury? Is it all chemicals? I don't even know what that planet's made of.
It's a solid planet. It's not like Jupiter, and it's not like gaseous.
Okay.
It's rocky.
Jupiter.
It's like landing in I don't know, the like in Moab. How's that?
That'd be all right. Like Mars then. Great.
Yeah.
It's all yellow, but I've been led to believe by all the movies I've seen that it's kind of yellow and green. Or am I thinking of I might be thinking of a different planet.
You might be thinking of Uranus.
Uranus, that's it. Uranus, all green and yellow. That seems bad. What else? Oh, look at this. Project Elysium wants to use VR, that's virtual reality, you might be familiar with it, to revive deceased loved ones. This is Australian-based Paranormal Games has a VR experience called Project Elysium, entry in the upcoming Oculus VR Jam 2015. I'm very much looking forward to the results of that. This is where people go crazy and do weird, intense things.
Right. It's like the Wild West with people creating their own games.
Love that. They are going to make as accurate as possible version of, let's say, if your aunt died, you could bring her back and interact with her and talk to her.
Oh, weird.
Hang around with her, yeah. I think that's pretty creepy, though.
That is pretty creepy. So it's based on whatever photos you can find to upload and attach to a polygon or multiple polygons.
Yeah, I bet that's the best you can do is map textures on, right? Try to pick the
I don't
right
think
body.
I would have named it after a crappy Matt Damon movie from a couple of years ago.
Yeah, it wasn't very good. I never saw it, actually, so I can't say.
We saw it last week or week before last, and it was okay.
It's
it was
no District 9, that's for sure, right?
No District 9. Although that dude's in it, and he's all right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's same director,
It's
right?
same director. Yeah.
Chappie.
That director is always going to use that dude.
Yeah, he's in Chappie. He was the body double for Chappie. That guy.
Oh, he's the body double for it.
Well,
I thought he was
the
like
mocap guy for Chappie, I should say.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, because that movie was what the Indian dude from that other movie. I can't think of the one that won the Oscar that year. What was that called? Oh crap! It's about India. It was
Slumdog Millionaire.
Slumdog Millionaire. It's that Indian kid. He's the one that works on Chappie.
Okay.
Then you got your two.
The Antwerp.
Yep, them.
Yeah, or Antwoord.
Antwoord. Yeah, or
I keep wanting to assume that's like named after the city in Belgium.
Yeah, or as I call them, Scary Girl and Tattoo Penis. That's what I call them both. And then you got your Chappie, who's played by that guy, that Copley guy. Anyway, little is known elsewise about this project and how soon we'll have it, but I'm all for weird stuff like this. I think that this is where the innovation will come from, is putting it in the hands of psychos and letting them come up with weird ideas.
Yeah, right. It'll be interesting to see, though, the first person who says, all right, I'm going to put Steve Jobs into this game or Leonard Nimoy.
Yeah.
And then the poop will hit the fan.
Well, you could bring back, who's the rapper?
Tupac?
Tupac Shakur.
Sure.
Have him walk around. They do that now with a hologram. Why not? Have you heard about that? They got a hologram.
I'm playing. Oh yeah, no, I've seen that. I've seen the video of that.
It's weird. I think it's super weird.
I think you have a neighbor who'd love to do that.
Probably. What else? Oh, you're not gonna like this because you're covered in tattoos.
Yeah. Oh darn, my sleeve.
Apple says no fart apps, and now they're saying no tattoos can be used, or if you have tattoos on your wrist, you're gonna have some trouble. Apple says some of the functions of the new smartwatch or smartwatch may not work properly when worn over tattoos. Darker colored artwork and even changes in darker colored skin types can fool the light sensors on the back of the watch. The problem is not exclusive to the Apple Watch, which perform well in independent tests. This happens to other watches with sensors on them as well. But it does show the manufacturer has not quite solved that problem. Permanent or temporary changes in your skin, such as some tattoos, can impact heart rate sensor performance. According to Apple on the support page, they just put that up this week. The ink pattern and saturation of some tattoos can block light from the sensor, making it difficult to get viable readings. Here's my question. If I'm Don Cheeto, I'm a very black man.
Right.
Do I have a problem? Can Don Cheeto wear his Apple Watch?
Yeah, I mean, because it does say darker colored artwork and even changes in darker colored skin types. So they're everything I've been seeing just says tattoos, but this is the first thing that's actually indicated that it may be an issue if you have darker colored skin. Yeah, African American skin.
And for those who send us email saying it's not Don Cheeto, I know you haven't been here long enough to get the joke. We know. We're aware. I'm stemming it off because we know. We make fun of it because Nicole calls him Don Cheeto by accident.
That's right. Yeah.
So we're making fun.
You think there could be a lot of guys with, full on Ed Hardy style sleeves going down their arm that are saying, dang it, I was really looking forward to sending my heartbeat to my loved one who also will have an Apple Watch.
I don't think it's going to be a problem.
No, I don't think it'll be.
Possibly. Like Adam Levine, he's pretty covered up, isn't he? For a famous guy. He's got a lot of tats on his arms, I think. Am I thinking of somebody else?
Yeah, I know he's got...
Maybe.
Yeah, I guess you've seen the pictures and stuff of him. He's got on his shoulders and stuff, so I assume it goes all the way down.
Yeah.
All the way down.
I feel like I've seen him with a shirt off and had tats all the way down to the wrist. But I wonder, somebody in the chat room suggested, and I wonder too, do you think hairy people are screwed? Like if you got all a bunch of furry arm people?
Well, we'll find out.
Yeah!
We'll find out when I get mine.
That's right. All of Brian's hair went to his wrists, everybody.
That's right. No, in my palms.
You're not that hairy of a guy, though.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you don't have that weird British hair that you should have had. Some people do. Like some British guys, when they get to be our age, they start to get like, it's like, I don't know, it's like watching coral grow in the ocean, just like.
Well, here's the test. If a Baldwin can wear the Apple Watch and everything's fine, then we're all good.
Yeah, really. Especially, it would not so much. Which one's the crazy one now? Is that Steven?
Steven? Mm-hmm.
He's probably fine because he's kind of a baby. But the other two.
I'm thinking Alec. Man.
Yeah, Alec, he's got like undergrowth down there.
Yeah.
He's a hairy man. I'm not a very hairy guy. I don't really. It takes me forever to grow. This facial hair you see is like a month. I get my arms are kind of not all that hairy, but I'm starting to notice as I get a little older, nostril hair and ear hair, real problem.
Yeah, that's what happens.
Yeah, and occasionally I'll get like a eyebrow hair that will go crazy, and one day won't be there, but the next day it's like 4 inches long and hanging straight out of my head. What is that about?
Welcome to old age, Scott.
Yeah, the other day I was like rubbing my nose, like, something itches. I rub my nose. As I pull my hand away in the mirror, a giant hair flops out, still attached, just kind of goes blah, just kind of hangs out. So I grabbed that piece of crap and yanked it out.
Oh, yeah, and that hurts like hell, right?
It did, but it made me feel like a man.
It's weird, the weird things you connect to that. There was an old George Carlin thing about pulling out nose hairs.
Oh, yeah? I don't remember
like
that.
He was like recommending, he was telling somebody not to do it because I think it was from a TV show. Like he was a character on a TV show.
It wasn't like Thomas the Tank Engine or whatever that was.
No,
I'm
sure that's what it was.
Don't ever pull a hair out of your nose.
It's a blaze for your stuff, man. I listened to a lot of George Carlin. Yeah. No, it was like a sitcom. Did he have a sitcom for a while?
Yeah, I think so. In fact, we're gonna find it. We got a little time. George Carlin sitcoms. Here you go. We're going to find him. The George Carlin Show, which aired... Did he have a sitcom named after himself? It's an American sitcom, aired on the Fox network January 94 to July 95, only lasted a year.
That sounds like it, yeah.
Yeah, that might have been it.
In one of those episodes, in one of the many episodes of that long-running...
Yep. Who else was in that? Nobody of note.
Really?
Nobody. Not really, well, according to this.
Co-created by Sam Simon from The Simpsons.
Oh, well, see. What the hell happened there? How about this one? Was another one? No? Nope. Oh, no, that's not it either. There's an article from that year linking in Google. What the hell, dude? That's crazy. Well, anyway.
Wow, there really was nobody else in there. Look at that.
George...
I mean, nobody, famous.
Yeah.
It's a guy named Tony Stark, Anthony Stark, but
here's what he did on TV. So I'm just trying to see.
Anthony Stark that we watched in Return of the Killer Tomatoes, the Jimmy from Seinfeld.
Oh, really?
He was a regular on this show, yeah.
Jimmy thinks your feet are funny or whatever.
Exactly. Jimmy's been watching you.
So,
Jimmy likes what he sees.
I was. Does anyone know if that Seinfeld deal on Hulu is also for the free version of Seinfeld or free version of Hulu? Is it just for subscribers? Do you know?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know either. I need to find that out because now I'm torn on the HBO thing versus that because I really do like Seinfeld a lot.
Yeah, I'm a paid Hulu guy because I want my Arrow and I want my Flash and I want my Gotham right away.
Yeah, you want all your superheroes. I get it.
I want all the heroes.
We're gonna
Last Man on Earth.
Yeah. Oh, I still haven't watched it.
Gotta watch that. Binge it this weekend because
Okay.
I'm sure you got nothing else going on.
Nothing else happening. It's all wide
no
open.
things to sign.
Nope.
No
3-hour block show on Saturday. No
comic books to go. Free comic books to go get.
No film sack episode to hopefully record because everyone shows up. We're gonna take a break. When we come back, Brian, or we'll all be here, but Dan will come in. He'll hang out with us for a bit, and we'll answer some of your questions. Before that, though, Brian brought music. What are we playing?
I do. So always good when we can get a couple of requests on here. First off is a song going out to Keaton. Greetings, Scorpion and Baihan. Mortal Kombat 10 is awesome, right? I'm making this request in honor of my 22nd birthday on May 1st. I'm one of those fortunate souls whose daily life allows for significant entertainment listening, and so Frog Pants, music, and audible.com occupy me for 6+ hours every day through work and my commute. I love Irish music, and Brian played me a great song last year, so hopefully my selection this time is more appropriate for the show. If this tune doesn't work, you can play the Tender Crisp Bacon Cheddar Ranch song or listener Chad Frog Pants Bacon Cheddar TMS cover. Keep up the fantastic work, dudes, and don't lose your Bhutanese passport.
We have to, by law, play this every time they mention it.
The Tender Crisp Bacon Cheddar Ranch.
There you go.
Nice.
That's all you
our
get.
Fiduciary duty, as you say.
Yep.
His request is a song called The Beggar Man, performed by Gaelic Storm. And he's a big fan, like you said, of Irish tunes. This is a traditional Irish song that the Dubliners also covered, but most popular by the Dubliners, but it goes all the way back to traditional times. You can find it on the Gaelic Storm album Tree from 2001, and here it is, Gaelic Storm, The Beggar Man.
All right, here it is. We'll be back in a minute. Rousing good time.
Mm-hmm.
I like that a lot.
Gotta love a little didgeridoo in your Irish music, right?
Yeah, you don't hear that very often. I mean, at all. Kind of. Yeah, I like that a lot. That was really cool. All right. Welcome back, everybody. It's time for Dan. You know him, you love him.
Dan, the board game man.
That's right. Talking tabletops and all the good stuff that comes with that. Let's see. We got any music here for him? Let's do something different today. How about a little of this? Oh, yeah. You feel that groove? That's pretty good. Dan, welcome to the show. How you doing, bud?
What's going on, guys?
Hey,
happy to be here.
Happy to have you.
I was on his 100th episode of his show, and it was fantastic.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. It won't air yet, but it will soon, right?
It'll be in a couple weeks, and I'm actually going to add a secret little ending segment with Ibit at the end.
What?
Oh, really?
Dude.
Oh, that's that. Yeah. Okay, cool.
So
that's what we've been talking about.
He didn't even know about it.
Yeah. He's like, ooh, that's exciting. I can't wait to hear what that is.
Yeah, what the heck is that? That's right, yes.
Dan comes on the show occasionally, usually every other Thursday, although lately we've had some spotty PM editions. So here he is today to talk about the world of board games, what's happening, what's fun on the weekend. Great way to move into your big weekend plans. Dan, what have you today?
Well, Spotty PM Edition just happens to be my my cover band for Two Non-Blondes.
Yep, that sounds about right.
So, as always, we say IP games generally suck. And usually Star Wars games suck, but usually even more, but not so much now that, Armada and X-Wing and the Star Wars LCG, all which Fantasy Flight has been knocking it out of the park with lately. But since last week we had that trailer, or was it a couple weeks ago we had the trailer for the...
a couple weeks ago, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's when I was going to bring this up originally, but we'll just pretend it was this week.
All right.
We're going to break the fourth wall.
We'll play along with that.
Sure.
That's fine.
We haven't had a TMS PM since the Star Wars trailer came out, so it's all good. It's all just
fine.
So I wanted to talk about a game it's kind of a classic. I call it classic. It's about 15 years old. I don't like to talk about games that are out of print because I like games that I talk about for things that people can go out and get.
Yeah.
But this is a classic, and with summer coming up and you get all the garage sales, and people go to thrift stores because you never know what cool games and stuff, like out-of-print games you can find in either thrift stores or yard sales, because people don't really know what they have sometimes.
Yeah.
But back in 2000, there was an amazing game put out by Hasbro called The Queen's Gambit.
Queen's Gambit. That sounds really familiar to me. I don't know why.
Well, it was based on episode 1, and it plays in about an hour and a half to 2 hours, which means you can have more fun playing this game than you could watching the movie. So I used to have a copy of this game, and I'll talk about it in a second. It's, of course, now it's going on Amazon for like $1,000. I had a copy of this game that when I moved out of my buddy's house, I left a couple things there that I was going to pick up later, and it just happened to vanish like a fart in the wind. But
I'm seeing, I'm trying to see, somebody's got replacement pieces on eBay, but I don't see the board game on eBay at all.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, here it is. $300 for one right now.
Oh, really?
Like it's the only listing.
It's a bargain.
It's got a day and 3 hours left. Shipping is through the roof, and the guy's got a terrible rating. But anyway.
Which means you'll never see it.
Yeah.
$600 for shipping, but $300 for the game.
Oh, so this game, but this is like original trilogy, or this is new trilogy stuff, isn't it?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Prequel.
Okay. All right.
Phantom Menace business.
Yeah.
Now I linked I just linked this review. You don't have to, obviously don't read anything, but I wanted you to see some of these pictures of the stuff involved. It's got such an original, it's almost this Euro feel, but an Ameritrash, but Euro feel to it, because there's 4 basic things going, there's 4 things you're fighting over. So obviously one person's playing the Sith and one person's playing the Jedi. So you're fighting over, there's a big Gungan versus the droid battle on Naboo. There's also another place where you're trying to play Anakin getting into the big droid spaceship carrier, that was what was controlling all the droids on Naboo.
Right.
The big thing out in space. So you're trying to pilot him into there to shut all the droids down there. There's also another part where you're one person's playing the 2 Jedi, Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan fighting Darth Maul. So and then there's also
crazy.
and
so many
you see
games
the
all
3
jammed into one. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and there's a triple decker. The heart of the thing is you're playing, the forces with the Queen trying to get into the Queen's chamber. So you use cards. Now these cards allow you to do something on one of the 4 battles. So you're trying to outsmart, and obviously you can't win everywhere, but you're trying to outsmart the other person by, keeping ahead of them, or defeating the different droids in a different area. But, if you commit too hard to one area, you may lose one or two of the other areas, and you just can't do that.
Very interesting. I had no idea this even existed. I never saw this thing.
Yeah.
And when you say out of print, like you don't think there's any chance with all this resurgence in Star Wars stuff that we get something like this again, do you?
I would love to see somebody either take this and reskin it into something else, but or maybe change it a little bit, without using any art assets, because you can kind of get away with stuff like that. But I don't know why Hasbro never did it, unless there's just not really that big of a market for such a heavy game, because they use the Avalon Hill imprint, which Avalon Hill was pretty synonymous with a lot of heavier games. It's where you get your Axis and Allies and things like that was from Avalon Hill. But good games. The problem is, I don't know if it was too pricey, because there's like 150 miniatures.
Oh, good lord.
Plus all those cards
Yeah.
And the boards and everything else. So, it was a decent sized board. I can't remember how much it cost, whether it was like 50 or something like that. nowadays, the price would probably be about $60-$70 for this.
Oh my gosh, they have an X-wing a TIE fighter pilot in the little minifig things.
Oh really? Let me scroll back up. I think
my favorite dude. I think so. It's the one with,
I'm just laughing at the Naboo starfighter that's got the little pointy, the tip pointing up.
Yeah, it's a little jacked up, that piece.
Oh yeah, right next to the
next to Yoda or something.
The Lot Dodd.
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yep.
So cool. I love that stuff. But I'm guessing that probably added to the price to have all these pieces.
Yeah, well, just the plastic. If they had the license, I'm sure the sculpts didn't really add too much, but just the sheer volume of miniatures that are in it. When you have all that cardboard, the only bad part was, that obviously when you've got, they're trying to cut back as much as they can. That triple decker board there, it's a little flimsy. So it's like when you're reaching for one of your droids in a second level, you can't even breathe when you're going for that thing, because the whole thing's just going to collapse.
Like Jenga.
Yeah. It seems like something somebody, an entrepreneurial guy like, Mark Spag or somebody could probably want to make his own little stand or something, because that thing looks like paper
I have heard,
thin.
kind of in the past when we were talking about, what was it, tumbling dice and stuff, where people kind of made their own big ones.
Yeah.
I've seen some people who have kind of, since things like this are out of print, you can usually kind of get the files that somebody has taken and put them up on Board Game Geek, and some people will just make a print and play, and they'll just pimp it out a bit. I didn't get a chance to do any research to look at any pictures on here. I was just looking for some of the basic main, pictures of the boards and stuff to show you guys, but I'm sure somebody's pimped out some of this somewhere, but it's
really cool.
And it's rare, because this thing was actually pretty cool to play. It was a commitment, a couple hours, but it was actually pretty fun.
And I could easily see somebody, thought the first movie was going to be great, or the prequel was going to be great, bought it, and then got so disillusioned or upset about the movie, they just basically shoved it in a closet, and then the first chance they get, like you say, garage sale, thrift store, whatever. I would not doubt that this could be an easy, well, not easy, but a common find at things like that.
Yeah, when I used to work nights years ago, and when I would come back at on a weekend at 7:00 in the morning, that's when people were all setting up. So I'd be like, you kind of go through some of those ritzy neighborhoods. Those are people who, they get each other the real expensive board games and stuff, and they never played them, so they kind of just throw that stuff out on a curve. So you're kind of looking around, and you're like, what do they got over there? And sometimes you'll find stuff where they're just like, $5, whatever. There you go.
Wow. Oh, that's cool.
Well,
I'll have to keep an eye out for this one.
Yeah, and
just
you
having
say
all those minifigs alone would be great.
And so if people don't, it's such a random find to be able to get them at garage sales, yard sales, things like that. And if you go to thrift stores, sometimes you get lucky. But is that all there is for people if they want to find vintage? Is there any kind of I know Board Game Geek's got a pretty active comment base and forum base and all of that. So there's a lot of shared info there. But is there anywhere people can just I don't know, find out when these things go live on eBay, or if they've got an eye on something, kind of be notified? I guess maybe there's just not a site that does that.
No, sometimes, like you said, with Board Game Geek, there's a good buying and selling community. They have Geek Bay on there, which is a huge trading community. But things like this, if you find games that are this pricey, you're better off trying to think of something that maybe you played in the 90s or 80s that you kind of really wanted. You may be able to find a good trade for something like that, but people are pretty savvy on there, and there are people that just try to make a lot of money. But sometimes you can look at these geek lists. You can do search for geek lists, and there's some thrift finds, and it's pretty amazing to see what people will find at thrift stores. Just see the pictures and hear what they've got. I mean, granted, most of the time when I go into a thrift store, there's about 100 different versions of Seen It. There's a bunch of Trivial Pursuits. That's all you ever get. You never get anything that you would actually want to have, which is good if you're if you're a board game designer or want to be a board game designer. You can get things like that for the cards, and you can kind of put stickers on them because then you have the hard backs.
Get a lot of Monopoly
sleeves on there.
You get a lot
they're
of
great for stealing, poaching parts from.
Well, you get a lot of Monopoly games out there. You like those, don't you?
Oh, sure, all the different variations, right?
Yeah, Dan's a huge fan of Monopoly. Dan
my big collection in the corner that I have.
Yeah, you're a huge fan. Let's get Park Place, everybody.
And that's a good way to get boards too, because I mean, all you have to do if you've got some good printing skills. You can just print out, things on stickers or on paper, and you can just glue them onto the boards. I mean, I've got all these old boxes and some other, games I've got that I'm just waiting to be able to have more than a minute's time to be able to finish some of these prototypes that I've got.
If we only knew a guy who had good printing experience. Hold on, let me see. Oh, this guy maybe.
I think Circulation can give me those preprint figures. I'll check with them and I'll get back to you.
Oh, preprint figures, Brian.
Preprint figures.
Yeah.
Actually, we're probably not too far from the day when board game instruction manuals come with a link to a website where you can download 3D print files too of the little things that come with it, right? Like, Mousetrap in 10 years is going to have a little thing where you can download, oh man, my stairs broke. You can just download and print a new copy of the stairs.
Yeah, my little mouse cage that drops down that little spine, or the spine itself broke or whatever.
Exactly.
Replacement parts. The people that are really shaking in their boots about 3D printers are all the miniature companies.
Yeah,
sure.
Because once the resin starts being able to be good, or even just plastic, just having them, man, I know that they've got to be scared. And of course, they're we always say that like the 40K, they're about as litigious as they get out there. So they've got lawyers just working 24 hours making sure people take stuff down.
Yeah.
And they've got a lot of price fixing and stuff. So they are always on it. I know once the 3D market comes around, forget it. They're going to have a hard time keeping up with that.
I don't know how they keep up. Like the 40K market, the Warhammer people with all those painted miniatures and stuff, you basically have just created a way for them to do it on their own, make their own changes, do tweaks, make the weapons they want. Like they could go crazy, and even like these D&D like structured resin based like what do you call it, like building a dungeon and having it all gridded out and having these real looking walls and floors and everything like the Dwarven Forge stuff. I mean, I wonder if they worry that one day 3D printing
they probably do. Well, I think they print their stuff on a 3D printer as well. So I mean, they just have to worry about competition from people who say, "Oh, I can do that myself." I know that the Settlers Catan, you can actually get a bunch of like 3D land pieces and all the different tiles that you can print out yourself. Some of them based on like World of Warcraft and StarCraft style buildings and things like that.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, they're really good about maps too, because you can get things that they'll send out publications where they just kind of come up with, oh, here's the 1920s New York map and it's got all the areas where you can put, the numbers for Catan.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they've got all sorts of stuff like that. I could just imagine them putting out just like a random, hey, Gen Con, here's an Azeroth map.
Sure, an Azeroth version, or Oh, that's so cool.
Somebody really needs to do that. I'm itching to play that, and I'm not even a big Catan guy, but if I could play Azeroth Catan. Sign me up.
Oh my gosh, I found a website where they're printing their own Scrabble boards and games, their own Scrabble tiles.
It seems like such an expensive route to go, right? Because you can get Scrabble for under $30.
Yeah.
But the time it takes to print out each letter tile and then one big board and all that.
Yeah. But I bet you some of those woodworkers, because you've got people that have those laser cutters and everything, they've probably got it down to a science, and I wonder if they can pump those things out, and they could probably even use acrylic and things like that to really make them nice. I'm sure it's illegal as hell, but I'm sure they probably can pump them out.
Well, it's illegal, but it's also almost impossible to enforce, right? Because Brian can make anything he wants. He's making a damn Tron cycle. What's Tron gonna do? I mean,
unless on the back of the board you put Scott Johnson, 42 Wallaby Way, Sydney, Australia on the back, you're not going to get caught doing stuff like that.
42 Wallaby Way. Nice. Paul Hogan to be proud of what you just did. That was pretty good.
So, like you say, like Games Workshop probably eventually they're going to have to cave, and they're kind of the worst ones. Most companies are going to see it as a way to advertise for their stuff. Whereas, Games Workshops, they're stick in the muds, but a lot of these other ones, it's kind of like board games going on online platforms like Yucata or Board Game Arena, at first, some of the real stuffy companies were like, no, we're not going to do this. We're going to lose money because people are just going to play online. Mm-hmm. And then places like Days of Wonder, who like the Ticket to Ride app and things like that, they said, no, they had data that showed their sales went up, just tripled when they put things online. So, it only takes a couple of companies to have forethought to say, hey, let's try this out. So, I mean, maybe there's a company that's going to say, hey, yeah, you know what? Print our minis. Mm-hmm. But we've got supplements for you to use with those minis. Hey, maybe buy our dice, or if you want some boards to, here's another game we came up with. Things like that.
Yeah, it's
smart.
Interesting.
It's very smart.
Well, from Star Wars to how do we 3-print our future board game good times, it's always fun to hang around with Dan. Dan, you got anything to pimp or let us know about before we let you go this week?
Well, we just put up episode 99 today, so I mean, you're gonna have to wait a couple weeks before you hear Scott Johnson and Brian Ibbett on the Geek All Stars. But today I put up the episode 99, where the Rogues Gallery. We talk about all things comic book, movies, TV. We spend 3 hours. We talk about Arrow, Flash, Avengers. We give some Avengers predictions, since we've been trying to avoid all spoilers, so we just make it up what we think's gonna happen.
Yeah, avoid all spoilers. It's a good idea.
So, it was a good time. So that's up now at the Geek All Stars or thegeekallstars.com, or check us out on iTunes, of course. And boys, thanks. I appreciate it.
Thanks, man. There's a hammer on your chest. We'll talk to you next time.
There is.
Bye now. What the heck was that?
Captain Hammer from Dr. Harble's Sing-Along blog.
Yeah, what am I thinking?
Oh man, the geek points that some people are probably going to accuse you of losing right there.
I kind of liked that little miniseries.
Yeah.
I don't like it when okay, Brian, I've talked about this before, but I'm going to mention it one more time. Mm-hmm. You know that nerd pressure people give, and it's bad sometimes. And when I smell it, I tend to turn the other way, and it makes me angry. So what I mean by that is, because we're all supposed to be thrilled that Felicia Day's in it, and that
Nathan Fillion,
Doogie Howser and Nathan Fillion, all these people we love, and oh my gosh, Joss Whedon really is going to come do this. Amazing. I want it to be good just because it's good. Instead, I got everybody going, oh yeah, this is the best thing because it's part of this nerd culture-y thing, and I get frustrated. I shouldn't. Yeah. It's kind of overkill, but I get that way.
You know what? I know, totally makes sense. I mean, there was no way that anything could live up to that hype, and it's all right. It's entertaining.
Yeah, it was good. And I'm not saying people shouldn't like it. You should like it.
Oh yeah.
Everybody who likes it should like it. All I'm saying is, and there's better examples of this, like, I don't know, people who are absolutely convinced that if I don't like Doctor Who, I'm doing it wrong. Well, I don't care that much. Is that okay? No, it's not okay. You need to be into it. Like, nerd pressure sucks. I don't like
there's so much great stuff out there that for somebody to like all of it would be impossible.
Right. I know I have a West Wing problem. I'm not saying anyone else needs to have it. I'm just telling you I like it. It should be good enough.
Yes.
Good enough. All right, Brian. I'll tell you what's good enough. It's a hashtag that we use.
Oh yeah, what's that?
It's a little thing. It's an internet thing. It starts with this right here.
Good news tweet. Want to go bird hunting this weekend?
That guy on Twitter lied.
Oh, why not this one?
Life's a joke. Shit bird.
All right. Classic. It is a chance for us to answer questions via Twitter. People use the hashtag AskTMS. We have a few, and I'm going to read them now. Sit back and enjoy.
All right.
Will Usherwood says, "Arg, am I too late for Ask TMS?" No.
Nope.
Well, you are now.
Good job. Question answered.
There you go, buddy.
By the way, you did see the new thing. I don't know how new it is, but I didn't see it before today. The what is it? Howold.net? Is that it?
I don't know. Is it?
Howold.net? This is a website where you can
picture pictures. Yeah.
Yeah, you put your picture in there, and it tells you how old it thinks you are based on that photo.
This is a Microsoft thing, by the way.
I did see that it's related to Bing, so that's the deal. It's.
I think so. That's tied into that somehow. Let's see if I can find it. How old do you look? Because you found it and you said, "Oh, mine said 41. Yours says 40."
Right.
Thanks a lot.
I didn't find it. No, I got Daryl tweeted over to me like, "Oh, look at that," and I decided to plug myself in there. That's how I found that great picture of Brian Abbott, the criminal, with his mugshot.
Well, hold on. How did Daryl fare? Just curious.
You know what? I don't think Daryl. Let's try Daryl because I don't think he certainly didn't tweet his face. Daryl Skills. You kind of got to rely on the fact that here we go. Here's a shot of him with Tom and Veronica.
Okay.
It thinks that Veronica's 36, that Tom is 37, and that Daryl was 43.
Tom is 37? He would love that. Veronica's, and that made Veronica too old. She's only 31.
Right. Yeah.
I'm looking at a picture of her. This is one that was taken like 6 weeks ago. It says that she's 16. Hey, this thing doesn't work.
It doesn't work now. Sorry, Microsoft.
Let's try Will Wheaton with a beard.
Hey, but I'll take the fact that it thought I was 40. Sure.
Yeah, why not? I'll take the younger ones. It's fine. All right, here's a recent one of Will Wheaton. It says 36. He's actually 42. So good job, Will. Let's try this one. 39. Yeah, it's not very accurate. How about this one from his Star Trek days? Also 39. Yep. Nailed it.
Really, it just thinks that he's perennially 39.
When he's 17 and being Wesley, it says he's 31. He's in the uniform and everything, and it says he's 31. Come on.
That's great.
All right, one more. Let's try. Oh, help me think of one.
Do Eric Van Skyhawk. Oh, actually, he probably doesn't have a lot of photos online.
No, probably not. Let's try Steve Buscemi.
Okay. You want to go with actors, I see.
Well, I don't have to, but... All right, it says Steve Buscemi is 51. Is that right? They all say 51. Oh, no.
That's all
46.
use. Here we go. Here's a Randy Jordan. We're going to use this one.
Oh, yeah. What's he say?
Oh, 38. It's pretty close, too.
Pretty close.
Right?
He's over 40, but... Oh, when I put Randy Jordan, I got a black dude. Hold on. Well,
yeah, you gotta go left or right a little bit.
Yeah, the one I see of him says 42, which I think is accurate.
The one where he's kind of looking up at the camera like, hey.
Well, the one of him in the hot tub with me says 38. The one of him in a football helmet says 58. Oh, wait, that's not him. That's somebody else.
I was just saying, football helmet?
I don't think this works at all. I think it's okay. It's maybe the averages, but I don't think it works very well. Nicely found, though. We got one here from Peter Fisher. Always fishing for Peters. He says this.
Oh.
Where and when do I sign up for the free comic book day images? You go to the website, to frogpants.com/store on Saturday. And that entire day, you can sign up and get them absolutely free. There's also a code there for anything you may want to get on the store, but that's the plan. And there's a video right now on my YouTube channel that explains the whole thing, too. So you can check that out. But that's this Saturday, so looking forward to that. Let's see, let me go back up.
Wow, Ming-Na Wen, by the way?
Yeah.
It thinks that she's always 27.
That is true.
She's 50, and that's
she's
that's
young.
what I would guess too. She looks amazing.
She's so young looking. It's crazy. Bernie Walter, here you go. What was your first R-rated movie? Mine was Heavy Metal. What was yours, Brian?
Wow, yeah, Heavy Metal. I do remember seeing in theaters.
Yeah.
That might have been the first one that I saw where nobody was covering up my face. I think I've told this story where we went and saw the Ralph Bakshi Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, your grandpa or uncle or something.
No, my mom.
Oh, your
mom took me there.
Yeah.
And just was so like, all right, well, we sat through your movie. Now we're going to go sit through one of mine. So we snuck from the end of that movie to another theater in this multiplex, which, these days is like that would be hard at all.
Right.
And went and saw Coming Home with John Voight. And
wow.
I remember a brief glimpse of boobs in that film before hand came down over my face.
Were they John Voight's boobs?
They were not John Voight's boobs.
Darn it. Because you'd get a glimpse of the future Angelina Jolie. Okay, mine was... Oh, shite. I just had it and I lost it. Hold on a second. Oh, no, The Jerk. Steve Martin's The Jerk.
Okay,
that was the first rated R movie I ever saw. And I remember thinking we were up to something when we did that, and then feeling at the end like it didn't feel very rated R to me.
Right.
Like it
Yeah,
felt
just the dog named Shithead was probably the reason.
Yeah, I honestly, you released that movie today in its exact form. I think it's PG-13 at the most.
At the most, yeah.
So that was it. And then I can tell you
Blade Runner was another one that was early on.
Oh, was that an early one for you? My second one for sure was Saturday Night Fever, which, if you recall, jumped around. So it started at R, then got moved to PG at some point, and then back to R, I think.
Oh, really?
Maybe it never went back, but there's some kind of re-rating that happened with that movie. But yeah, those are my two early ones. Oh, you know what? This is all a lie. When I was 8, remember when I told you about that one I saw with Elliot Gould where he cut that lady's head off in a fish tank?
Oh, yeah, right.
But I don't remember the name of the movie still.
That's right.
If Mike's listening,
somebody found that and sent us the YouTube clip.
They did. I think it was Iceworm, actually, or somebody.
Yeah.
And I don't remember the name again, but yeah, I guess that would have been it. I assume it was R. If you're going to cut off a lady's head in a fish tank, pretty sure that's rated R material there.
Right. That would probably push you into the R rating for sure.
All right. Let's see, where else are we here? How about this one? Kyle Thomas says, during a normal week including prep and editing, how much time do you spend podcasting? Brian, I'm still waiting on those figures.
I'll get you those figures.
Oh, the preprint figures. Yeah.
Yeah, if I could just use your phone.
You know what I like about Kyle's tweet is he decided not to waste his extra characters. He went ahead and filled that in. That's impressive. Kyle, I assume he's asking me this question. I assume. Probably, no, I don't know. It's a horrible number. I don't want to think about it. I'm sure it's long. I'm sure it's like 20 or 30 hours or something a week of just podcasting.
Yeah.
That sounds about right. I mean, if you take what Brian and I do every day together, you add to that. Even if you just take FilmSack, TMS, and then one of our other shows, Coverville and one other show, I mean, that's already pretty huge.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Now that he's mentioning it, and I think I'm going to quit. This is it. This is our last episode. Thanks, everybody.
Oh, no.
Alex Turner says Trevor, Michael, or Franklin. So these are the three main antagonists / characters that you play in the new Grand Theft Auto game.
Oh, okay. That explains why it didn't sound familiar to me.
I really like what they're doing with all of them. But I think I'm going Franklin because he has the most heart, and I tend to be drawn to characters in video games who have some inherent good in them. Trevor is a psycho with no good. He is chaotic evil, is what he is. And Michael is just kind of a jerk. But Franklin, nice guy.
I have not tried any of that. I need to, but
great game. Great game.
Cool.
Not for the kiddies, but great game. We're going to do one more here. How about this one? Would you consider doing a TMSPM in December, including the Brian Dunaway and Nicole Spag, to review your favorite video games of the year? Yeah, of course we would.
Oh, that'd be a blast. Yeah.
In fact, you know what? Consider it planned. Let's do that.
Yeah, I'd say, doing even doing like a best, like we do a whole week of bonus TMSs, or maybe the morning TMSs, and do these sort of things where it's like best video games of the year with Nicole and Brian, best movies of the year with Randy and Brian, best,
Yeah, absolutely.
Stuff like that. I think it'd be great.
Yeah, I would love to do that. So we'll talk to them about that. Final question. John Vito says, tell us how you really feel about Leo Laportson. We love Leo. We
do love Leo.
Yeah, he's about to launch a new show. He's getting that Screensavers 2 or whatever started. I'm excited for him.
Really? Oh, cool. I hadn't heard about that.
Yeah, it's very exciting. So
yeah, we if any joking we do about the Drobo and his inability to remember my name and any of that stuff is
it's all fun.
It's all in fun. We love Leo, and we love Adam Curry too.
Yeah, Curry's great. All of them. We don't have any enemies in podcasting. They're all great. And yeah, I'm excited about.
Well, maybe one.
The new Screensavers, it's called, by the way. I think he's got some guests from the old Tech TV days, but it's mostly Twit staff doing that, and it sounds exciting. So excited for those guys. It's great.
Cool.
That's it. That's our questions. Thank you all for being here. We'll do more of those next week. We love doing those. Maybe even some during the week. There's a ton of them.
So short.
Don't forget patreon.com/TMS. That's where you go and help us keep the show alive. This particular episode and the show in general means a lot to us. So thank you so much for those who have supported us. And if you haven't yet, consider it. If it's something you like and you value it and you just want to throw a little bit our way, it's not even that much. If everybody did $1, we'd be good. So thanks for that. Really appreciate it. Frogpants.com/TMS. Yeah, please do. Is our website. 801-471-0462 is voicemails. You can leave us an email at themorningstream@gmail.com. And on Twitter, Brian's at Coverville. I'm at Scott Johnson. And the show is at Morning Stream. I think that's it. You got anything else? You good? We're good?
I got nothing else.
All right. Well, you got music, so play that.
Well, okay, yes, I do have one thing left. Just one thing in me, and then I'm done.
All right.
Good morning, sodium and bicarb. At around the beginning of May last year, I didn't know TMS even existed. My brother-in-law, Andrew, told me about the show, and I've been listening ever since. I do pool maintenance down here in Florida. Florida man. It's hotter, dirtier, harder work than you might think. It's also boring as hell if you don't have music or podcasts to listen to while you're doing it. This show and others on the Frog Pants Network get me through very nicely, even if I am a full day late listening. Thanks for doing what you do. Can't think of a witty love the show though thing. Your pal, Paul.
It's not required. It's totally fine if you don't have one.
Yeah, exactly. He says, P.S. Sodium bicarb is added to swimming pools to raise the pH. It's also known as baking soda.
Oh, all right.
Fascinating. His request, a cover of a Gordon Lightfoot song, preferably Sundown, the first song I remember hearing on the radio when I was a wee lad. The Darius Rucker Bacon Cheddar Ranch song is also acceptable in a pinch. Anytime around the beginning of May or whenever is convenient for Brian.
The tender crisp bacon cheddar ranch.
All right. Jeez.
Oh,
these chuckleheads, man.
I'm going to call it right now. Nerdtacular 2016.
Yeah.
We get Darius Rucker to perform, and he performs the Tender Crisp Bacon Cheddar Ranch song.
Oh my gosh!
I'm giving us more than a year because I think we're going to need more than a year to make this happen.
Maybe this year get Marion Call and just talk her into pulling that out and doing it. Do a little cover.
I think that would be epic. Actually,
yeah, it would be. Yeah. Well, you have some pull, man. See what the Coverville man can do.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. All right. So, Lightfoot, Gordon Lightfoot, Sundown. It's funny that he describes it being an early song for him. It was for me as well. My first ever record player. I got this red and white plastic record player that like folded up into a suitcase.
I remember those. Yeah, I do. Those are great.
And they bought me a stack of 45 RPM singles. So I had like The Who, Behind Blue Eyes. I had The Night Chicago Died by Paper Lace. Oh, man, I can't remember what else, but I do remember the other one was Sundown by Gordon Lightfoot. Here's a cover by a guy that I actually got a chance to talk to a few years ago as part of Coverville. The Smithereens lead singer is Pat Denizio. From their 1998 album, God Save the Smithereens, here is Sundown.
If you could read my mind. Gordon Lightfoot.
What a tale, my tale.
This kind of sucks now, but whatever. If he left his mark, he left his mark, and that's all that matters.
He did indeed.
All right, here it is. It's Sundown. We'll see you guys Monday for a brand new show. Thanks for being here this week. See you then.